Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the You Know What I Like podcast, reporting live from the year 2020. It only feels like just under last week ago was my birthday, as it was on the 10th. And now, Sakurai has blessed us with the reveal of the fifth and, well, not final. It used to be final, but it's no longer final. DLC fighter. I don't know who they're going to reveal. As you can probably tell by the time, I'm a bit late. I'm not going to get into why. It was a minor thing, really. Nothing to focus on. I have no idea who he's about to present, even though I'm 90% sure this is already over. In fact, if you're watching this, when I click this play button, it's not, and the screen doesn't immediately cut to static and saying, "Oh, this live stream's already over." So, let's go into full screen, because I've been waiting just as long as you have, and I don't want to stall any longer either. Okay, it's not going to cut out. That's good, at least. That's good. I have no idea how long this wait is. Oh god, this is going to be a long wait. Alright, I think I can cut to around, god, what was it, about 30 minutes ago? Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's watch a miracle happen, ladies and gentlemen. We're also probably going to get, definitely Mii costumes. There it is. I love that jazz backing. There he is. Winner of Best Fighting Game of 2019. With no pre-announcement. Nice. Oh! Then this will be fun. Who could it be? My main predictions are Labo Man, Primid, Bandana Waddle Dee, Hat Kid, the Untitled Goose, then Toon Zelda, but I'm expecting it's going to be like Crash Bandicoot. I could never have hard feelings. Untitled Goose, come on. It's gonna be, something. Alright, there's that familiar logo. Another Fire Emblem character? Oh, wait.
The time has finally come to unleash the forbidden spell of Zaharas upon our enemies!
Is this, simultaneously, this feels like Fire Emblem and not like Fire Emblem at all. Who knows?
What were you thinking,
Maybe
charging right into an enemy's trap? As you and I are one, I too am trapped within this void. In time, our hearts and minds will cease to be. Are you prepared to die?
This is a pretty pessimistic starting trailer. I'm gonna be honest.
I thought as much. I also do not wish to die. And yet, there is no other choice.
Please be like a bait and switch.
You must join Smash.
God damn it.
Huh?
Join Smash Brothers already! What in the world are you waiting for?
Steal the title. Steal it, Untitled Goose. Steal it, Untitled Goose. Untitled Goose. God damn it! Another.
So joining Smash
fucking
consumes even the darkness itself.
Another fucking Fire Emblem character? We have like 7 of these. And they all play the goddamn same! I can at least say for Mario, at least Piranha Plant plays different than Luigi. Wait.
So you return, and sooner than expected. I see.
I think
Too many
he's
swordsmen, are there?
given up.
And you wield the sword as well? What will you do? Huh. So that is how you plan to win the day?
2 other people
So
have
be it.
female.
I reward your cleverness this time.
What does that mean? I'm really hoping for just a giant Phaetons.
How is this?
Seriously! She's just Palutena, but slightly different. I don't know what you expect. Byleth recruits Byleth. Oh, cool! A female, like, that hasn't been done. I've literally already said this podcast. It's done it twice.
Of anyone, you should be able to handle the hero's relics. With Arid Fire, strike with superior reach.
I'm starting to see
Use
why
Mii's
he was like.
overwhelming power.
I'm starting to see why he was like. Please don't have any hard feelings, because I can imagine there'd be a
Unleash
lot
the
of hard
blinding
feelings.
speed of Failnaught,
I will say though, this does look like a,
along with the sword
different.
blade. Each weapon matches a direction.
you know, a different kind of playstyle, which I can say more for the other character you've released this game, Fire Emblem.
Your will and mine be now as one. To you, both sides of time are revealed. Through Smash, show the world.
We're gonna get guides of her too! Submit your Palutena's sister or something! Fucking hell. Okay, you know what? That's a funny cut back too. This video is unavailable. I don't think that was... Okay, no, that's just a pun. That's just a pun. That was just a joke. I think it might have actually cut out. Well, talk about perfect timing, I guess. You know what? We'll keep that in. We'll keep that in. God, they are really just not letting me go forward, huh? Oh boy. Well, let's have some fun. Where was I? Around 35... That's backwards. Yeah, we'll iron out where we are on the time. I'm gonna have to do some cuts for this. Please have it already up. God damn it, I'm gonna have to wait for this too. Come on. Well, you guys get to see the part not normally seen in the podcast, in that this typically doesn't happen in the podcast. Boy, I love waiting for more video. It just cut out, like literally. I was expecting that was a joke or something, like it just cuts out, like, just ends with Sakurai putting up paintings. I don't know, I'm gonna load up Discord while I wait or something, I guess. I don't know. I'm on OBS, so I was waiting for when, like, the other half of the video. Maybe I'll just cut out this patter part out. You know? Seriously, Labo Man, Bandana Waddle Dee, literally someone from a third party, like you've done for the rest of the goddamn pack. But no, we need to get another Fire Emblem character out to celebrate the new game. That's what annoys me most. It's like Piranha Plant. Funny enough, we're bookending it. So far, I guess, because technically it's only the ending of the first pack. That's still going to be more on the way. But it's like... They could play well. They seem to be playing a lot more diversely than other Fire Emblem characters. But it's the fact that you put in a fire character at all at this point. Because, like, with Piranha Plant, my main problem was, oh, So you just took the slot that normally allows unexpected franchises to join and gave it to Mario. For this, it's basically the same thing, except we had the expectation of it being a third-party game. Except this is Fire Emblem again. For like the 7th time now. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Wiki. I'm gonna look at the wiki page. I'm gonna count the names. Bite the hand that feeds. Whatever. Alright. Luckily, these are all divided by series. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I might be missing a couple. It's Marth, Roy, Ike, Lucina, Robin, Corbin, Crom. Crom's here now. Is this what you wanted? Byleth on top of that all? Here it is, Byleth. Oh, and then Mii costumes. I'm seeing another like music note one, but I don't know who that's of. Let me pause. Hold on. Catch up. And we can go back to the most important part. Masahiro Sakurai hanging up posters. What's that? Magnetic?
Yes, there you have it. Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses is joining the battle.
There better be some.
Fire Emblem Three Houses was released just last summer, so it's still very new. Even so, you'll soon be able to play as them in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
But why though?
This release is planned for January 28th. You'll have instant access if you have the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass.
Okay,
and it will
cool,
also
but
be available
why
to
though?
purchase individually. In case you're not familiar with Fire Emblem or Three Houses, I'll explain a few things, so don't worry.
But why do we need to know this?
First off,
everything
what is Fire
else
Emblem?
has been third party.
It's really hard to pronounce
People
in
wouldn't
Japanese. The
something
producer
people
said
wouldn't
it's okay
expect.
if I just say Fire Emblem. But when writing it, if you don't write Fire Emblem, the Fire Emblem police will come and get you. So
Fire Emblem. I feel like I'm missing a
The
joke
series'
here.
first entry launched in Japan on the Famicom in 1990. You could say it was a pioneer in the genre of tactical role-playing games. You might be wondering what makes it particularly tactical. Well, it's tactical in that it simulates
In
combat.
that later series.
You can think of it as moving pieces in a board game. Or
Ah,
in
yes,
other words, a
because it's
game
as-
in which you advance units across a grid and battle.
Let me guess. It used to be called advanced units.
When we talk about tactical games of that era, there were lots of ones in which you command tanks,
Because
aircraft, and
as
so
Brian
on.
David
But Fire
Brian
Emblem
David
was
Gilbert
unique
would
because
describe it.
each unit was a specific character, sort of like in role-playing games.
What's the one? Ah, yes. Fire Emblem
Plus,
is
something
what
made it
does
stand out
chess
from other
make you
Nintendo
horny?
products.
Which is a real line.
Characters could permanently
I
die.
cannot vouch if it's accurate or not.
That's pretty direct language though, so perhaps we should just say they're sleeping with the fishes.
No, you can say that's just dead.
But really, if a character fell in battle, you'd lose that unit. They'd be gone and you couldn't use them again.
It'd just be gone.
Recent
Vanish.
entries in the series maintain this
Obliterated.
concept of permadeath to some degree in classic mode and what have you. But a lot of games now allow strategic withdrawals, so to speak. In the older games, your units would really be gone, never to be mentioned again. Scary.
Ooh.
The game's stories are told like chronicles of war,
Never heard
with
'em.
increasingly distinct characters and engrossing scenarios. Several characters also appear in the Super Smash Bros. Series, and 6 of the 7 can use a counterattack. It's their down special. There's actually a reason for this. When I was considering how to incorporate Fire Emblem fighters into Super Smash Bros. Melee, I thought it might be interesting to reflect the turn-based nature of the original game. First comes your opponent's turn. They attack and you counter. Next comes your turn.
Okay, that's a good justification. What about the rest of the moveset being the same?
And now,
Except
Fire
for, like,
Emblem
2
Three
of
Houses
them.
is the 17th game in the series.
Not the last time
People
we'll hear
who aren't
about it.
Japanese in particular might be thinking,
This is such a
17 games?
pet summon.
There are that many? Well, if you include Fire Emblem Heroes in the remakes, but you don't include the Satellaview game, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, and Fire Emblem Warriors, then it comes out to 17 games. Let's try saying them in the Fire Emblem Can You Say It challenge. I'll give it a try.
暗黒竜と光の手、外伝紋章の謎、聖戦の系譜、トラキア776、封印の剣、烈火の剣、聖魔の功績、荘園の奇跡、暁の女神、新暗黒竜新紋章、覚醒ヒーローズ、レコーズ、風化設立。
There you go, 17.
Bam!
So you saw how I was counting in a weird way, right? I was counting in binary. This is 0. Fold this here and you get 1, and then you get 2, then 2 plus 1 equals 3. So this would be 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you get 16. Add 1 and you get 17. Awesome, isn't it?
Welcome to Counting with Binary.
You can
Counting in
actually
Binary
count
with
up to
Matthew
31 on one
Sakura.
hand.
Also, Byleth in Smash now.
And if you use both hands, you can count all the way up to 1023.
Why is this woman
If
focusing
you've given
on?
up counting the knots in a tatami mat, you could always give it a go.
That's what-
What is Fire Emblem?
Oh yeah, Fire Emblem!
In Japanese, the male version of the main character is called Byleth, and the female version is called Beresu. But in English, they share the same name, Byleth. Byleth becomes a professor who ends up leading one of 3 academic houses. Once you've chosen a house, you guide them through their school life, and, well, you end up fighting the other houses. After a certain incident, 5 years pass, and you meet up with your grown-up students to battle against the other houses in their regions. It's a very sad game in which your former allies become enemies, turn hostile, and try to kill you. To understand the concept of Fire Emblem 3 Houses, I played an early version of the game before its release.
Cool.
I've done the same thing before, with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, for example. Because I couldn't wait until launch to experience it, or we'd have never made it in time. For that title, I borrowed an early version of the game for 2 days, ran around all the areas, saw the ending, and realized for the first time, I guess we can't really have Breath of the Wild's Princess Zelda as a fighter. I did the same this time, but with there being 3 houses and multiple endings, it was really hard to get a feel for it. And of course, there weren't any walkthroughs I could reference.
Yeah, the game hadn't been released yet.
The game has multiple routes, and the outcome of each is very different. Your experience will vary depending on the route you choose, and many of the characters you meet will adopt different roles in the story. I'll try to avoid spoilers when I'm talking about the fighter. I hope you'll understand.
I might have to
Before my
pause
demonstration,
and then...
I should point out that when I did the Terry Bogard showcase video, I mentioned that it was recorded a month in advance. But this time, we have to account for the holidays and such, so we're filming 2 months in advance of this video's release. Right now, it's actually November. Therefore, some of what I'm about to show you might differ a bit from the finished version. As always, I'm using a special in-game camera and such for demonstration purposes. Here I go.
Alright.
So, this is our new fighter, Byleth. Sadly, they're lacking in mobility. It's maybe a bit better than Robin's, but that's about all you can say for them. Throws are not their strong point either. Their grab lacks range. But actually, you could say that they're distance demon.
Cool.
The hero's relic they use changes depending on the direction you input with the stick. Each of the hero's relics is a weapon that appears in Fire Emblem 3 Houses. They look like bones, and there's a reason for that.
Because they are bones.
First,
They're
let's talk
made
about
of
the
bones.
weapon Byleth uses for upward inputs, the Sword of the Creator.
The
The
bones
Sword
of
of the
the
Creator
fallen
is
enemies.
Byleth's default weapon. They use it for flurry attacks and tilt attacks, such as down tilt attacks, where it takes the form of a whip. They also use the sword for dash attacks and other moves. For their up smash attack, they'll whip the sword upward to launch enemies in the air.
I mean, yeah, this
For
guy
their
does look
up-air
like he'll
attack.
be unique
They'll wave the whip sword overhead.
for a
The hit
Smash
detection for this
character,
attack
for
lasts
a
for a
Fire
relatively
Emblem
long time.
character.
The up special
Like, you
move
have
is
to,
really
like,
something.
consider,
The
if
sword
I'm not as
extends like this,
ecstatic.
allowing you to do things like this.
Oh!
It was
Okay, I'm gonna be
pretty
honest. That's
terrifying how I knocked him into the air with that attack. And in addition, you can do awful things like this.
You can do awful things. Evil
That said,
things.
you'll launch
With a
opponents
sword made of
until the
bone!
damage reaches a certain percentage.
And a whip made of
Exceed
also
that
bone.
percentage, and you'll need to be
Everything's a
careful. You may
bone.
find it helpful to mid-air dodge. I've already shown this, but you can also use it to latch onto edges. So that's the up special. Now, for the sideways inputs. This is Erdvar, the same name as the weapon from Celtic mythology.
Not to be confused with the one
First, we'll
from,
go through
you
the
know,
forward
Greek
and back air
mythology.
attacks. As you can see, they have a long reach. Like so.
Distance demon with bone!
Marth's air attack keeps
I'm
opponents
never
in
gonna
check
get over
too,
the fact
right?
that he has to specify. Oh, they look like bones. There's a reason for that. Don't worry about why
If
they look
Byleth
like
does
bones.
the same thing, you'd win out, so you should be able to beat it. Next, the side smash attack.
Don't worry
This
about
also
why
has
our
a long
boy,
range.
our bone
It'll
boy
connect
has
even
bone
from here.
weapons. You're gonna destroy that man's. You're gonna destroy that man's.
Also, if you add
Instead,
an upward
his
tilt, it will
cabbages
be
are going to
stronger.
get ruined.
And if you've knocked an opponent down, the side attack won't hit unless you add a downward tilt to aim for them.
Okay, so we can aim
By
it.
the way, the tip of the lance is more powerful. The shaft part is weaker,
So the shaft
so it's
is
not
weaker
suited
than
to
the
close
tip.
combat.
Got it.
It won't deal much
Imagine I'm
damage,
snapping
and
my
it won't
fingers
launch
just going,
opponents far.
Got it with finger guns.
That's why, as a rule,
The tip is
you want to hit with the
good.
blade part aimed upward, or downward in this case.
You want to get
Next,
just the
the
tip
side special
jokes?
move.
Because this is how you get just the tip jokes.
Byleth will simply swing the lance like
This is
this,
how you
but
get
again, it is excellent.
Alpha Man, anyone
For
who's
example,
recording. I
even
bet
when
they've
your
only
opponent is
made
at
like
this
2.
distance, it'll still hit.
Jason. It's Jason
Actually,
Bone.
you can do a smash attack to charge forward a little, like this. But as you'd expect, it can be easily shielded, so be careful.
I mean, at least this is a original character.
Use it in midair and you'll carve up a large area.
Wow,
Returning
this
to the
is
side
Echo
air attacks
Fighter.
from earlier, they have great horizontal reach, but they lack verticality. So this
Every
complements
Fire
it well,
Emblem game is here.
although you'll be vulnerable when you land.
There's 17 of them, right?
Now, for the downward inputs. For these, Byleth will use an axe called Emir.
Boom!
It's named after a weapon that appears in Ugaritic myth.
I can't get over
First,
the bone.
the down air
Sorry. I can't get over
It
being
really
a Fire
is
Emblem
strong.
character. Again! I'm sorry.
You can try for a meteor effect with this attack. Next is the down smash attack.
I'd say is that known to anyone but
swing
me,
of
but
the
let's be
axe
honest,
back
it's the
and
internet.
forth.
Everyone's gonna be
As you
upset
can see,
about
it has a
this.
great deal of launch power.
Except for the Fire Emblem
And for the
Three
down
Houses
special.
fandom.
Byleth channels all their energy into a devastating strike. It's a bold move, similar to the Falcon Punch, but here's what makes it different.
It's vile. It's
When readying the
good.
move, there's a super armor effect,
It's good. It's a good value.
which allows you to withstand an attack. Just so you know, if you execute a Falcon Punch at about the same time,
It's years of training.
it plays out like this. It's a bit slower than the
And
Falcon
the
Punch,
bones!
but due to the super armor effect, you have the advantage. Unless you get grabbed. Another notable aspect is that it lets you pass through platforms.
Balance it out.
While you're charging up, you can breeze past platforms like this to reach a lower area.
Wanna get shot on?
It won't let you jump, but you could use it as a surprise attack. Also, you can turn around during the move. The swing takes a while, so if an opponent runs behind you during the move, you can quickly change direction. Even though it can be hard to land a hit with this move, it can be really effective when used against a group of opponents.
You had him behind you! I mean, that again, it was not.
Plus, even if you fail to land a direct hit, any opponents on the ground nearby will still be launched a little.
Don't hit the child.
It's as if the quaking of the ground launches them.
You hit the child. You touched the child.
By the way, earlier I talked a little bit about the other Fire Emblem characters' moves. I don't recommend using this down special against fighters from the Fire Emblem series, because you'll just get loads of counters. It hits with that much power in a single attack.
So there's
counters can actually
anyone
multiply the power of block.
Anyone with a counter.
And using easily anticipated attacks like this could just get you hit by counter after counter.
Well.
Next, we have the neutral moves. The bow you use is called Failnaught, which shares its name with the bow from the Knights of the Round Table. It only appears in a few neutral moves. You've got the neutral air attack. This attack is similar to a move of Pit and other fighters like it. It lets you spin the weapon around.
Oh, no, I have good news for you.
It's also easy to create certain combos with it.
Only some.
And with the neutral special, you'll let loose an arrow. It seems pretty straightforward, right? But there are a few noteworthy aspects to this bow.
You can't counter it. Or it can be countered.
The biggest difference between this bow and Link's is that once you enter the command, you can keep charging until it's ready. You can't release it partway through the charge, so when it does fire, the arrow travels at high speed. It's also very powerful. That said, you can still cancel out of the stance using the shield button.
Okay.
You can also change direction while in the stance. It works up until this point, but if you keep holding the button, you'll unleash a powerful arrow that looks like a beam of light. You can perform this move by keeping the button held down.
Flashbacks.
You charge up power like so. Charge a bit more, and then fire. But again, you'll need to take care when using this move. For one, when you've powered up the move to its max, there's no way to cancel out of it. Not even with the shield button. In other words, you're committed to firing it. So you see, a situation like this is pretty terrible.
Oh, right,
once you've entered the stance,
it's like counters, but for projectiles.
You won't be able to do anything. Which means it's quite the risky attack to use against fighters who have a move with a reflector effect. But you could always just aim into the fray, as it is, after all, a long-range move, letting you deal a sudden blow to
You broke the pew! Wait, that's the lunch table. You broke the lunch table!
Byleth's final smash is called Progenitor God, Ruptured Heaven. In the original game, there's a move called Ruptured Heaven.
It feels like a
this is
Zoom
an
song.
enhanced
It
version.
doesn't help that I'm listening to like all of King's One of the Day. I can't wait for Byleth's guy to start
team up
kicking
with the
in.
mysterious Sothis and launch an attack.
Oh wait, no, Sothis is sorry. You know what to figure out, like, Palutena's Japanese name is like
Now, let's talk about the color variations. It's set up so that the default and odd-numbered color variations are male, while the even-numbered ones are female.
Cool!
However, the third, fourth, and fifth colors are, as you can see, reminiscent of the house leaders. Those of you who played the original game will of course understand what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
The sixth color is based on Sothis, who you just saw earlier. And the seventh and eighth variations have a different hair color, which is based on something that occurs in the course of the original game's story.
Oh, is that a
Didn't you
fusion
see
dance?
this variation in the final smash?
Oh, I guess they use this lull period to just say, I'll just address. Yeah, I know the website's been
I'll
deleted.
introduce the stage.
I have a backup, don't worry.
For this one, we of course tried to recreate the place where you spend most of the game. Garreg Mach Monastery.
What's the game? The tragedy and the five.
This is how Garreg Mach Monastery is laid out in the original game.
Yeah, last
From
10
these,
minutes.
we chose to have it cycle through the marketplace, reception hall, bridge, and cathedral, all in one stage.
Oh, so you can break a pew!
It's the type of stage that rotates through different areas, such as these four.
So it's like the
Let me
other
introduce
Fire
each of the guests that
stages.
appear in these four areas.
Seriously, there's like nothing unique and
The
new.
first area is the
It's
marketplace.
all just...
I think this is where a lot of people come to do their shopping. The guests that appear here are students of the Blue Lion's house, Dimitri, Dedu, and Ingrid. Not Dimitri, Dudu, or Ingrid. Their names are a bit difficult to say. They're largely from the Holy Kingdom of Fargus. Since it's a kingdom, that means they have a monarchy. For that reason, I guess you could say Dimitri is the future king. He had quite the difficult life and may or may not end up with just one eye. He's an unfortunate one, that one.
Oh, he's quite the unfortunate soul, let me tell you.
In the original game, these are important booths where you buy all sorts of things. But here you can break them, you see.
His cabbages!
If you do break them, the stage will expand to the left and right.
His mannequins.
I wonder where people will buy their supplies now.
His bow!
And in the background, you can see the gatekeeper.
Hello, gatekeeper.
You often pass through this area in Fire Emblem 3 houses, and you end up talking to him a lot. Moving through these areas is possible thanks to this mysterious platform. Just when it seems like you've come to a stop,
Sofas? Well,
you'll
that's
back down. Be broken through the ceiling and slammed into the building.
You know, there was a
In the
door.
reception hall
We could have just walked in.
Dorothea and Petra of the Black Eagles. Take note, it's not spelled Edelgard. They're from the Adressian Empire. And as such, they embrace their military might.
Start your stuff, I guess.
Edelgard is one of the characters who is central to the conflict.
Petra?
Depending on the path you take, she'll go through some terrible ordeals.
There's Edelgard. She's quite
You'll
the
notice there are
unfortunate
prominent
soul.
chandeliers above the stage.
This might have just
It's
been
possible
like
to
a
knock
typo,
them down.
or like a translating error or something. Fun fact, for the
However,
Terry one.
Byleth can't actually reach it, even though it's their stage. You can reach it with other fighters, though.
What you say?
So, it's nice if you can work your way up there by getting lucky and being launched up, or perhaps by using another fighter as a stepping stone. There we go. I made it.
There we go.
You can knock it down.
I mean, you already
Also, you can break this table. Like so.
It doesn't do anything, but you can break this
Just
table.
like the sign that reads Furin Kazan in the Suzaku Castle stage, it can break if you launch the opponent into it at close range.
Again, what is this move?
Next up, the bridge. The camera
Well, you already
rotates
broke
90
the
degrees,
ceiling, so we don't
creating
know
this
what that
long
was.
area. It's very wide indeed.
Then we're gonna talk about the Pegasus in the background.
It's similar to the bridge of Elden stage. The guests are from
No.
the Golden Deer, Claude,
Okay,
Hilda,
cool.
and Lawrence. They belong to the Leicester Alliance.
Which was the one that conquered like half the country again?
Because it's an alliance of many noble families, you could say that they have a wide assortment of members. And Claude is the sharpest of the bunch.
I feel like there's a
Incidentally,
joke in here.
both Claude and Hilda are the names of characters that appear in Genealogy of the Holy War, the 4th title in the Fire Emblem series. I guess once you've reached the 17th game and are creating 40 characters for each new entry, you're bound to get a bit of name overlap. The naming
fact,
process must be tough.
Although I will say,
Hey,
has
it looks like
Byron's
the
name been
Pegasus
gilded
Knight is
before
busy
this?
training.
Oh, I think it is.
As for the bridge's design, it's just a long pathway, plain and simple. You can expect plenty of blows to be exchanged at the edges of the screen. You could also say it's a place where the fail knot really shines, and in this sense, I think it suits the Golden Deer perfectly.
They just love their bows and arrows.
The last area is the cathedral, only with some platforms you can pass through.
Aw, damn.
The guests appearing in the cathedral are Sedith, Flayn, and Rhea. There's Sedith, who appears to have an extremely strong bond with his sister, Flayn. She seems to be under the protection of him and Rhea, who you can see fighting during the opening of Fire Emblem
You
3
can't
Houses.
break a pew.
All
I'm
three have
sad.
character quirks related to their true identities.
Give me a Smash Bros game where you
I
can
feel that
break a
Flayn might
pew.
be saying shush at this point, so I'll leave it at that. This is a simple area of the stage. All it has are these platforms.
There's no pew.
Being the last area, it may be a place where some intense battles will be waged.
And there go the platforms.
It'll cycle through each location in about 2.5 minutes. Okay, today we'll have a tag team battle in Squad Strike with the DLC team pitted against Fire Emblem protagonists from throughout the ages. That'll give us precisely 5 players per side. Alright, here we go, Joker. Joker!
I have a feeling I know where this is going.
And Hero!
And there goes Hero. Alright, cool. And...
Gee, we really made a lot, huh? Banjo!
Gee, we really made a lot, huh?
By now, I think you know what I'm doing. But basically, I'm trying to defeat all 5 opponents with just the professor here. But as expected, it's going to be a pretty tough battle, so I'm using anything I can get my hands on.
That's why items are on.
It's not going to land that easily. Uh-oh, this is bad. And again.
I have a feeling that that was not a tactical move.
I better keep my distance. I'll use this chance to attack. Got him. That's scary.
A-bomb!
For a moment here.
How did that not hit? Oh wait, no, I
Lots
forgot.
of explosives.
Bombs thrown in Smash Ultimate don't blow you up as long as
Perfect shielded that, huh?
you're getting as long as
Good
you
one.
throw it away from yourself. I like that, honestly.
If I do this, like this, or like so. No anti-air, huh? There, the soccer ball connected.
Yeah. Break faster, you damn party ball.
Good, there's Mom.
Guys, my mom's here.
Really
I
good
gotta
spot,
leave.
Mom.
He's just calling her mom.
Ah, I shouldn't have taken that. Gardevoir. Well, I guess no one uses projectiles. At this point, it doesn't matter if Gardevoir's there or not.
What about the ammo?
I feel
What
like
about the literal ammo you're slinging?
See? They got it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You
But
might
I
have made a
mustn't give
tactical
up.
blunder. Oh.
I can't waste this chance.
Who needs a final smash?
There's another smash ball. Yes, got it.
Okay.
Now, what are you charging up for?
I do like the visual. But it's
There's
like...
still more.
Damn it.
Whack. Go on, you can take the hammer, but it's mine. Although I'm scared I might get hit with a counter in this state. I hit him.
Well, you did. Good job!
I was trying to fight using Byleth's abilities alone, but what matters is that I won. Good game.
What's more interesting? The fact...
It can be fun to play like this, especially in tag team, so I think it's a good idea to try imposing different types of challenges on yourself. The end.
The end. Video's over, everyone. Go home.
Now, about the additional music. Since it's from the Fire Emblem series, we'll be adding each of the new tracks to all the Fire Emblem stages. There are already a lot of Fire Emblem tracks in the game. Our
So let's
selection
add,
this
like,
time has
50
been
more,
made
yeah?
taking those existing tracks into consideration.
11 tracks.
11
Yeah, you
songs
can't
have
beat
been-
Terry. Terry's the god of DLC fighter.
This
fighter
includes an
song
arrangement
tracks.
of the main theme in both Japanese
Track
and
lists.
English.
DLC track list? Yeah, I know what
I hope
said.
you'll enjoy these as well. We're
I
also
can't
adding
get
in a new
over
spirit
the
board.
fact. I
It
can't
includes
get
the
over the
house
fact
titles
that they
among
just
some of the other
casually
popular
added
characters.
50 songs. SNK was just like, oh, you have a list
So
of like
this is
11
Legend
songs?
Class.
And, oh, you want
Also, there's
11
a new
songs?
classic mode route, a heroic
that?
legacy,
11 songs?
which is designed to
Nah,
let you enjoy
nah.
classic Fire Emblem stages from throughout the
Yeah.
series' history.
Hopefully
The
it's
final
better
battle
than
is
zero.
against Master Hand and Crazy Hand, but you'll find that something pretty amusing happens, so look forward to that.
Oh, so it's not just going to be Fire Emblem
Now for the
Crazy
Mii
Hand
Fighter
again.
costumes. Please take a look.
Okay. Now we can move on to this. I saw there was one that had a musical note, but I didn't see who it was. So let's see who these fellas are. We got some, Oh! Wait. I'm gonna be honest, I thought that was Assassin's Creed. I thought we just got Ezio showing up. Why? Why rabbits? Why rabbits? I don't care if they're just... I don't care if it's the Mii costume. Why rabbits? Mega Man X. Alright, cool. Didn't we used to have this in 4? I feel like we used to have this. Mega Man Battle Network. Okay. Mega Man... No, we had this too! We had this one also! Alright, next one should be a brand new one. A pet gunner? Oh! Alright, alright! Oh, he even does his finger gun! Oh, that's sick! I mean, I would have liked the full fighter, but I won't complain! Tactical suicide! My god. Oh! Oh! I couldn't make out Cuphead, but I could make out a musical note. The makers of Cuphead also beat me in Smash!
This time, we're releasing a Cuphead costume. And for those of you who purchased the Cuphead costume, an additional song will be added. It's called Floral Fury, and it's the theme that plays when fighting Cagney Carnation.
Okay.
I hope you enjoy these as well.
Get ready to squeegee some windows.
After purchasing a costume, I recommend using the sharing feature. If someone has created a Mii fighter, you can play using the costume it's wearing immediately after you download it.
So you can't see
And now, onto the amiibo.
Oh, amiibo. Oh, cool, right there.
The color palette for Dark Samus looks pretty good, doesn't it? Dark Samus and Richter are planned for release on Friday, January 17th.
That's tomorrow, right? Yeah. Anything else? Join them.
And now, with the addition of Byleth, the Fighter's Pass is finally complete. The lineup was Joker, Hero, Banjo and Kazooie, Terry Bogard, and Byleth.
All of a sudden, we just got number 6 revealed.
From more than 70 fighters, only 5 have been added.
So,
But I must say, this game has always been an exceptional experience. And since the roster was already so large to begin with, right from the start, we intended to make the most out of the new gameplay mechanics and so on.
I'm still confused.
There really were a lot of new mechanics, weren't there? When we add a new fighter, we don't simply make their attacks or their movements a little different. Instead, we try to offer you a whole new style of play.
Oh yeah, no. Like, as much as I don't like that Fire Emblem character, and because, like, not on the process of, oh, Fire Emblem
As
bad.
I stated, we'll continue to release more DLC fighters down the line.
Like I said,
I had thought that 1 or 2 might suffice, but, well, have a look.
Oh? Oh, we're about to get number 6 of them. Even more fighters in development. Alright. Fighters Pass 2! Wait. Fighters Pass 2! Now that's something to be
Looks like
excited
there'll be
for.
one more fighter than last time.
It's beautiful, Sakurai!
For this
It's
reason, we will
beautiful.
be releasing the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass Volume 2. It will be available for pre-purchase on the date shown, so please keep an eye out. And now that it's official, we intend to move ahead with development. Of course, like last time, the contents will remain unknown for now, and I'm personally very sorry that we have to release Fighters Pass Volume 2 when the details have yet to be revealed. Like last time, I'd be very grateful if,
This is what I
despite
love
that,
about
you would
this.
understand
Sakurai's
why
like,
and purchased it.
Don't buy it if
Furthermore,
you
the
don't
new additions
think
have
you're gonna
already
like
been
it.
decided. Even if I receive many requests regarding potential candidates on Twitter, I'm afraid it would be very hard to consider them. But I still hope you'll look forward to it. We're also including a bonus with Fighters Pass Volume 2. Last time, it was a Rex costume. But this time, here's what we have.
Alright, what is it? Alright, there's Link.
It's a Mii Fighter costume for Mii Sword Fighter, the ancient soldier gear from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This will not be for sale individually, so it can only be acquired as part of Fighters Pass Volume 2.
Lastly,
It's been reported that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the highest selling fighting game in the world.
yeah, man.
Personally, I don't know if it counts as simply a fighting game, but I guess it's seen as a fighting game around the world.
it a fighting game?
今まで、
Getting
It seems
philosophical
like
on
Street
us.
Fighter 2 was in the lead for a while, but now Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has surpassed it in total sales.
You've earned it, man.
However, I'm not sure if this is accurate. There were 5 versions of Street Fighter 2, or 6 to 7 if we really want to get into the weeds. Plus, there's the arcade versions and the 25 ports to other systems, so I don't know if that's been accounted for. Also, I don't know if that really qualifies as one game. It's up for discussion. So, who knows? But when it comes to a single piece of software, it seems like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is number 1.
You've earned it, man.
Although, I still don't know if it can really be called just a fighting game.
Man, it just ain't a fight.
I feel like it's become more than a fighting game, some sort of celebration of gaming or something else entirely.
まあそもそもこの
Also,
Man,
I feel a deep attachment to the 5 DLC fighters.
非常に感慨
Stop
深い
getting upset about Byleth.
第一シーズンの終わり
The first Fighters Pass just wrapped up,
がやっぱり
but it was decided that there will be more DLC,
これからも休みは
which
な
means
さそうだと
no breaks for me.
思っていますこれからも
I plan to keep working hard, so I hope you can continue to support us.
それでは
I'll
以上
support
That's it.
お疲れ様でした
Thank you.
And see ya. Alright. That's Byleth. I'll admit, not 100% what I was expecting. Again, like, it's like Piranha Plant again. It's like, fundamentally, I'm not against Byleth, because they look, it's like the Piranha Plant metaphor is actually way more apt for Byleth than I realized. Because Byleth was the surprise addition to a series that already had a ton of characters, and is probably getting either flack or love for it. And even though they look, like, gameplay-wise, they look stunning. Lots of variety, it looks like they're fun, they look like they're fun to play as. But fundamentally, it's that the rest of the pack has been third party, and characters that probably wouldn't have joined had this not happened. Like Joker. Like Joker, a Banjo-Kazooie, a Terry. They wouldn't have probably joined in a base game. And maybe they would have, who knows. Or maybe, no, the metaphor is more like, they wouldn't have joined if Ultimate didn't have more room. Like, in what other game would Banjo-Kazooie show up? You know? What other game would Sans and Cuphead be Mii costumes? I feel bad for Gunners. I feel bad for, like, default Gunner, you know? First Sans, now Cuphead. It's just all gonna be Sanses and Cupheads and Sanses and Cupheads. We're gonna be Sans Gunner plus Sans and Cuphead. I might actually buy Cuphead. Maybe I'll buy Sans too with it, who knows. I do like that they do just have, like, these packs are just there, and you can get them. You know? You can just get them. You can just get them. And it's 5... And like they throw in that little something for you. I like that. All the fighters, except for like the first one, all the fighters pass, as is, tossed something in. And it was like, oh, wow, there's an actual reason to buy these. So let's be honest. If Sans or Cuphead weren't in these, no one would buy them. Okay, no, that's really pessimistic. Not as many people would buy them. There it is. You know? Like, I'm not going to openly I'm not going to beseech Byleth or something. Am I using the word beseech correctly? Besiege? I'm not gonna forsake Byleth because Fire Emblem bad. No. No. Sakurai clearly had a lot of heart, and they look fun. Like the main problem with one of the main problems is that there's a lot of Fire Emblem characters. But my main problem was that, like, most of them played the same. Like swords and counters and forward slashes. No, this guy has a bow. He has an axe. He has bones! I still can't get over the bones. That's just like, why is that detail brought up once and then never again? It's like, here are your weapons. They're made of bones. There's a reason for that. Don't worry about it. Now, I want to worry about it, Sakurai. Why are these weapons made of bones? Alright, well, like I said during the video, I know you know what I like. The website is down. 000 Web Post finally deleted it. I do have a backup. If anyone has like a good recommendation of a website making platform that I can use to replace you know what I like, so I can actually get that website up again, let me know, you know? I'm thinking WordPress, because I was using the King for Another Day Mojo. By the way, if you haven't even listened to Mii Gunner, listen to King for Another Day. There's a lot of great arrangements. Polka for Another Day, beautiful. But, yeah, I think I should probably start wrapping up this presentation. So, yeah, that was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Mr. Sakurai presents Byleth. And Cuphead. Let's be honest, oh god. Byleth's about to get tarried. People are gonna focus on Cuphead more than her. And people are gonna focus on Cuphead more than Mii Gunner. It's gonna be a fight of the Cupheads and the Sanses. They're gonna be at war, and Alphared's gonna be stuck in the middle whenever he plays doubles online. It's gonna be Sans, Cuphead, Sans, Cuphead. Alright, no, really, time to end this, because I'm rambling at this point. It's 51 minutes long. 52, actually. Alright, so yeah. Can't wait to see what, what's the phrase? Fighters Pass Volume 2 has in store. See y'all then.